Adam Cole walked into the emergency room expecting stitches. What he got was a name on a screen that would shatter his carefully rebuilt life. There, in glowing letters, his name was listed as the father of a child he'd never met, paired with a woman he'd destroyed 3 years ago when he chose his father's approval over love. The woman was Naomi Williams, the one who got away, the one he'd walked out on, the one who now stood before him in scrubs with professional distance masking the pain he'd caused. But the little boy beside her wasn't his son, and the mistaken connection would force them into a proximity neither was prepared for. As old wounds reopened and his controlling father threatened everything again, Adam would have to make a choice: repeat the cowardice that cost him everything, or finally become the man worthy of a second chance he didn't deserve. The question wasn't whether love could survive betrayal, it was whether forgiveness could bloom in the ruins of broken promises. If you're watching this, hit subscribe and tell me what city you're from, because this story of second chances and standing up for love is just getting started. Adam Cole pressed a clean white towel against his forehead and pushed through the sliding glass doors of Memorial Hospital's emergency room. The bright fluorescent lights made him squint. His head throbbed where the weight plate had caught him during his workout, but he told himself it wasn't serious. Just needed a few stitches. In and out. The waiting area smelled like antiseptic and stale coffee. A TV mounted in the corner played the evening news on mute. About 15 people sat in the hard plastic chairs, a woman holding a crying toddler, an elderly man with his arm in a makeshift sling, a teenager with her mom. Normal Tuesday night stuff. Adam walked to the registration desk. A woman in pink scrubs looked up from her computer screen. Her name tag read, Nurse Whitaker. She had grey streaks in her dark hair and kind eyes that had probably seen everything. "Evening," she said. "What brings you in?" "Cut on my forehead." Adam lowered the towel slightly so she could see. "Gym accident." Weight plate slipped. Nurse Whitaker leaned forward, examining the wound with practiced efficiency. That'll need stitches for sure." "How long ago did this happen?" "About 40 minutes. Any dizziness? Nausea? Blurred vision?" "No, ma'am. Just stings like crazy." She slid a clipboard across the counter. "Fill these out. Insurance card and ID, please." Adam handed over his cards and took the forms to an empty seat near the window. The paperwork was standard name, address, emergency contact, medical history. He checked boxes and signed lines, trying to ignore the steady throb above his right eye. When he returned the clipboard, Nurse Whitaker smiled. "You're all set, Mr. Cole. Shouldn't be too long. We'll call you back when we're ready." Adam nodded and sat down. He pulled out his phone and scrolled through emails, but he couldn't focus. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Somewhere down a hallway, someone was coughing. A baby wailed. The sounds blended together into white noise. He glanced at his watch. 7:15. He'd planned to grab dinner after the gym, maybe catch up on some reports for work. Instead, here he was, bleeding through a towel in an ER waiting room. Not how he'd expected his evening to go. Adam Cole? He looked up. Nurse Whitaker stood by a doorway, holding a tablet. "That's me." He stood and followed her through the double doors. The hallway beyond was busy. Nurses moved quickly between rooms. A doctor in blue scrubs talked quietly with a worried-looking family. Medical equipment beeped from behind curtained areas. The smell of antiseptic grew stronger. "Bay 7, Nurse Whitaker said, gesturing to the left. "Just down this hall." As they walked, Adam noticed a large digital screen mounted on the wall. It displayed patient information, names, room, numbers, attending physicians. He'd seen boards like this before in other hospitals. They helped staff track who was where. His eyes skimmed the list out of habit. Then he stopped walking. There, in bright letters on the screen, patient, Evan Williams, age 6 father, Adam Cole, mother, Naomi Williams. Adam's heart kicked hard against his ribs. He stared at the screen, reading the words again. And again. Father, Adam Cole. That was his name. But he didn't have a son. He'd never had a son. And Naomi Williams, his breath caught. Naomi. "Mr. Cole," Nurse Whitaker had turned back, noticing he'd frozen mid-step. "You okay?" Adam pointed at the screen, his voice coming out rough. "That. Up there. That's wrong." She followed his gaze, frowning. "What's wrong?" That says I'm someone's father. I'm not. I don't have kids. Nurse Whitaker squinted at the screen. Oh, that must be a data merge glitch. Sometimes the system gets confused when people have similar names in the database. Let me flag this for IT. She made a note on her tablet. Don't worry, we'll get it fixed. But Adam couldn't stop staring at the name. Naomi Williams. He hadn't heard that name in 3 years, hadn't let himself think about it. And now here it was, glowing on a hospital screen next to his own name, linked together like they still belonged to each other. His chest felt tight. Mr. Cole? Nurse Whitaker touched his elbow gently. Are you feeling dizzy? Maybe we should get you sitting down. No, I'm fine. The words came out automatic. Do you know who Naomi Williams is? Dr. Williams? Sure. She's one of our ER physicians. Works the evening shift most days. Nurse Whitaker tilted her head. Why? Before Adam could answer, a voice called down the hallway. Naomi, we need you in Bay 3. Possible fracture. Adam turned. She walked out of a side room, holding a tablet against her chest. She wore navy scrubs, and her hair was pulled back in a low bun. Even from 30 feet away, even after 3 years, he would have recognized her anywhere. Naomi Williams. His Naomi. Well, not his. Not anymore. She moved with the same calm confidence she'd always had, talking to another nurse as they walked. Then her eyes lifted, sweeping the hallway, and landed on him. She stopped mid-step. For a second, just 1 second, her professional mask slipped. Adam saw shock flash across her face. Her lips parted. Her eyes went wide. Then the mask came back. Her expression smoothed into something neutral and controlled. They stared at each other across the busy hallway while people moved between them, oblivious. Naomi? The other nurse touched her shoulder. Bay 3. Right. Naomi's voice sounded normal. Steady. I'm coming. She broke eye contact first, turning away and disappearing around a corner. Adam's heart was racing. His hands felt cold. Of all the hospitals in the city, he'd walked into hers. Mr. Cole. Nurse Whitaker's voice pulled him back. Let's get you to your bay, okay? He nodded numbly and followed her. But before they'd taken 5 steps, something small and blonde appeared in the hallway ahead. A little boy, maybe 6 years old. He had pale skin, light hair, and big brown eyes. He wore a superhero t-shirt and jeans with scuffed knees. He looked lost. Evan, sweetheart, you need to stay in the lounge. Naomi's voice came from behind them. Adam turned. She'd come back, moving toward the boy with gentle urgency. The boy, Evan, looked up at her. I wanted to find you. I know, buddy, but you can't wander around the ER. It's not safe. She took his hand. That's when the boy noticed Adam. He stared up at him with open curiosity. Adam's stomach dropped. The screen, the boy, Naomi, father, Adam Cole. He looked at Naomi, then at the boy, then back at Naomi. His thoughts were spinning, trying to calculate timelines, trying to understand. Naomi saw the look on his face. Her eyes widened. No, Naomi, no, she said again, firmer. He's not your son. He's not anyone's son in that way. She took a breath, clearly forcing herself to stay calm. This is Evan. His mother is out of town for a conference. He's staying with me for the weekend. That's all. Adam felt relief and confusion crash together. The screen. It said, I know what it said. It's a mistake. The system merged our records somehow. She kept her voice low, professional, but he could hear the tension underneath. You're Adam Cole. This is Evan Williams. The computer got confused. Evan tugged on her scrub top. Are you mad? No, sweetie. I'm not mad. She softened immediately, crouching down to his level. But you have to stay in the family lounge, remember? With your juice and your tablet? Okay. Evan looked up at Adam again. Are you hurt? Adam touched the towel still pressed to his forehead. Yeah. A little. Did it bleed a lot? A bit. Does it hurt? Some. Evan nodded seriously, like this was important medical information. Then he reached out and patted Adam's arm quick and gentle, the way kids do when they're trying to help. Something in Adam's chest squeezed tight. Naomi stood quickly. Come on, Evan, back to the lounge. She glanced at Nurse Whitaker. Is he checked in? Bay 7, Whitaker confirmed. I'll take him. Naomi's voice was clipped. All business. You're going to be his physician? Whitaker looked between them, sensing something but too professional to pry. We're short-staffed tonight. Dr. Torres is handling a trauma. I'm available. Naomi avoided looking at Adam. Bay 7. Got it. Let's go. She walked past Adam, leading Evan back toward the family lounge. Adam watched them go. The boy looked back over his shoulder once and waved. Adam lifted his hand automatically. Well, Nurse Whitaker said quietly, this night just got interesting. Bay 7 was a small space enclosed by pale blue curtains. A wheeled stool sat in the corner next to a metal tray of medical supplies. The exam table was covered with fresh paper that crinkled when Adam sat down. He waited, listening to the sounds of the ER beeping monitors, distant conversations, footsteps. The towel against his forehead was spotted with drying blood. His head still throbbed. The curtain pulled back. Naomi stepped inside, holding a chart. She let the curtain fall closed behind her. For a moment, neither of them spoke. She looked exactly the same warm brown eyes, same full mouth that used to smile at him like he was the only person in the world. Same smooth, dark skin that seemed to glow even under terrible fluorescent lights. 3 years. It felt like yesterday and forever ago at the same time. Let me see. Her voice was professional as she set the chart aside and snapped on a pair of latex gloves. Adam lowered the towel. The movement made the cut sting. Naomi leaned in, examining the wound. She was close enough that he could smell her faint perfume, something citrus and clean. Her fingers were gentle as she tilted his head toward the light. Clean laceration, she murmured. About 1 inch long. You'll need 4, maybe 5 stitches. That's what I figured. She stepped back and peeled off the gloves. When did this happen? Around 6:30. Weight plate fell at the gym. Did you lose consciousness? No. Vision problems? Confusion? Nausea? No. Headache? A little. But I think that's just from the cut. She made notes on the chart. Her handwriting was still the same, small and precise. I'll numb the area, clean it, and suture it. Standard procedure. Shouldn't take long. Okay. Another silence. Naomi kept her eyes on the chart. The screen thing was a system error. IT's fixing it. I figured. Evan's mother is a friend from med school. She's in Denver for a conference. He's with me for 3 days. You don't have to explain. I just don't want you thinking. She stopped, shook her head. Never mind. Adam wanted to say so many things. Wanted to ask how she'd been, what she'd been doing, if she was happy. Wanted to apologize for everything that happened 3 years ago. Wanted to tell her she looked beautiful. But this wasn't the time. She was at work. He was her patient, and the years between them felt like a canyon. I'll get the suture kit, Naomi said. She stepped toward the curtain, then paused. It's good you came in. Head wounds can be tricky. Thanks. She nodded and slipped out. Adam let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. His hands were shaking slightly. Seeing her again had knocked something loose inside him, something he'd buried deep 3 years ago when his father had pressured him to end things, when he'd chosen family approval over the woman he loved, when he'd been too young and too scared to fight for what mattered. The curtain rustled. But it wasn't Naomi who came in, it was Evan. The boy slipped through the opening and looked up at Adam with those big brown eyes. Hey, buddy, Adam said. You're supposed to be in the lounge, remember? I wanted to check on you. Evan stepped closer. Naomi's getting stuff. She said you're getting stitches. That's right. I had stitches once, on my knee. It didn't hurt too much. Yeah? The doctor was nice. He let me pick the color of the thread. Adam smiled despite everything. What color did you pick? Blue. Like Spider-Man. Good choice. Evan moved even closer, studying Adam's face with intense focus. You look sad. The observation caught Adam off guard. Kids could be unnervingly perceptive sometimes. I'm okay, he said. Are you scared? About the stitches? No, I've had them before. Then why do you look sad? Adam didn't know how to answer that. Because I'm sitting here looking at a kid who reminds me of everything I wanted and lost. Because the woman I never stopped loving is 20 feet away and I can't even talk to her properly. Sometimes grown-ups look sad even when they're not, he said finally. Evan seemed to accept this. He moved, closer still, then without asking reached out and placed his small hand on Adam's arm. The gesture was so simple. so trusting. Something cracked open in Adam's chest. There you are. Naomi pushed through the curtain carrying a metal tray. She saw Evan and sighed. Evan, sweetheart, you can't keep wandering. I wanted to make sure he was okay. That's kind, but he needs space for the procedure. She set the tray down on the counter. Come on, I'll walk you back. Can I stay? I'll be quiet. I promise. Naomi hesitated. Adam could see her weighing options, send him back alone or waste time walking him there again. It's fine, Adam said quietly. He can stay if he wants. Naomi looked at him, really looked at him. Something passed between them, old and familiar and painful. All right, she said finally, but you have to sit in that chair and not make a sound. Deal? Deal. Evan hopped into the wheeled stool and sat with his hands folded in his lap, looking angelic. Naomi turned back to Adam. This is going to sting when I inject the lidocaine. I know. She prepared the syringe, her movements efficient and practiced. When she leaned in close again, Adam closed his eyes. Better not to look at her face, better not to remember. The needle pricked his skin. The medication burned going in. He kept still. Okay, Naomi said softly. We'll give that a minute to work. She stepped back and stripped off the gloves again. Evan watched everything with wide eyes. You're brave? The boy said to Adam. Thanks, buddy. My mom says brave people help other people even when they're scared. Adam opened his eyes and looked at the kid. 6 years old and already wise. Your mom sounds smart, he said. She is. Evan swung his legs, making the stool spin slightly. Naomi's smart too. She's a doctor. She helps people all the time. I know, Adam said quietly. Naomi was testing the skin around the wound, checking if the numbing had taken effect. Can you feel this? No. Good. She reached for the suture needle. The next few minutes passed in tense silence. Adam kept his eyes closed while Naomi worked. He felt gentle tugging, the slide of thread, her steady breathing. Evan stayed quiet, watching. Finally, Naomi cut the last thread. Done. 4 stitches. Clean closure. Adam opened his eyes. She was already applying bandaging, her fingers quick and sure. Keep it dry for 48 hours, she said. No strenuous activity for a week. Come back in 10 days to have the stitches removed. You can see your regular doctor for that. Okay. She stepped back, snapping off her gloves. Any questions? No. A pause. You did good, Evan said to both of them. Despite everything, Adam felt his mouth twitch toward a smile. Naomi's expression softened too, just for a second. Then her pager beeped. She checked it and frowned. I need to go. Another patient. She looked at Adam. Nurse Whitaker will bring your discharge papers. You should be out of here in 30 minutes. Thanks. She hesitated, like she wanted to say something else. Then she shook her head and reached for Evan's hand. Come on, kiddo. For real this time. Evan hopped down from the stool, but before they left, he looked back at Adam one more time. Bye, the boy said. Bye, Evan. Naomi pulled the curtain back. They stepped out into the hallway, and Adam sat alone in Bay 7, his head freshly stitched, his heart feeling raw and exposed. He'd come here for a simple medical fix. Instead, he'd stumbled into the past, into a mistake he'd never fully forgiven himself for. Naomi Williams, the woman he'd loved. The woman he'd left. The woman who, even after 3 years and a canyon of silence, still made his chest ache just by being in the same room. Outside the curtain, the ER moved on. Nurses called names, monitors beeped, lives intersected and separated in the chaos of emergency medicine. But Adam sat still, feeling like his world had just tilted on its axis. And, somewhere in this hospital, Naomi was probably telling herself the same thing. Nurse Whitaker returned 20 minutes later with a clipboard. She gave Adam a friendly smile as she pulled the curtain aside. How's the head? Better. Numb. Good. Doctor. Williams does excellent work. She handed him the clipboard. Just need your signature on the discharge instructions. You're all set to go home. Adam took the pen but didn't sign right away. Do I need to stay for observation or anything? Whitaker raised an eyebrow. You feeling dizzy? Any symptoms you didn't mention earlier? No, I just thought maybe with head injuries. You're fine, Mr. Cole. Clean wound, no signs of concussion. You can head home. She studied him. "Unless there's another reason you want to stick around?" Adam felt heat climb his neck. Was he that obvious? Before he could answer, a voice called from the hallway. "Whitaker, can you help with the intake in Bay 2? Be right there." Whitaker took the clipboard back, now signed. "You take care of those stitches." She left. Adam sat on the exam table, looking at the closed curtain. He should go. He should walk out of here, go home, forget this whole thing happened. But his feet didn't move. The curtain pulled back again. This time it was Naomi. She looked surprised to see him still there. "I thought you'd left." "Just about to." She stepped inside, letting the curtain fall closed. "I wanted to check on the bandaging. Make sure everything's secure." "It's fine. Let me see anyway." She moved closer. Adam tilted his head, letting her examine her work. Her fingers were cool against his skin as she checked the edges of the bandage. "Looks good," she said, but she didn't step back. "Adam, you don't have to say anything." "I do, actually." She took a breath. "About earlier, the screen thing. I'm sorry that happened. It must have been confusing." "It was, but I understand now." "Good." She paused. "And I'm sorry if seeing me was uncomfortable. I didn't know you'd be here tonight." "It's fine. You work here. I needed stitches. It's just life." "Right. Life." They stood too close in the small space, not quite looking at each other. "How have you been?" Adam asked quietly. "Busy. Work keeps me occupied." Naomi folded her arms. "You?" "Same. Work. The usual." "Still in tech investing?" "Yeah. Still doing that." Another awkward pause. "Adam, Dr. Williams." A nurse poked her head through the curtain. "Sorry to interrupt. We need you for a consult in the observation bay. Possible medication reaction." Naomi's professional mask snapped back into place. "I'll be right there." She looked at Adam. "You should go home. Rest. Take ibuprofen if you need it for pain." "Okay." She turned to leave, then stopped. "Take care of yourself." "You too." She disappeared through the curtain. Adam finally stood up. He grabbed his jacket and walked out of Bay 7. The hallway was still busy, nurses moving, patients waiting, the steady hum of medical activity. He headed toward the exit, passing the family lounge on the way. Through the glass door, he saw Evan sitting at a small table, coloring in a book. The boy looked up and waved. Adam waved back. Then he kept walking. But something made him stop. Some pull he couldn't explain. He turned around and pushed open the door to the lounge. Evan looked up again, this time with a bright smile. "You're still here?" "Just for a minute." Adam sat down in the chair across from him. "What are you drawing?" "A rocket ship." Evan held up the paper proudly. "See? It's going to the moon. That's really good." "Thanks." Evan went back to coloring, his tongue poking out slightly in concentration. After a moment he asked, "Do you have kids?" "No." "Do you want kids someday?" The question hit harder than it should have. "I don't know. Maybe." "I think you'd be a good dad." Evan said it simply, like it was obvious. "You're nice. And you didn't cry when Naomi gave you stitches." Adam felt something twist in his chest. "That's a pretty low bar, buddy. My teacher says being nice is important." "Your teacher's right." Evan finished, coloring a section of the rocket, and switched to a green crayon. "Naomi's really nice. She makes good pancakes, and she lets me stay up a little late to read. Sounds like you're having fun with her." "Yeah. I miss my mom, though." "She's coming back Sunday. I bet she misses you too." "Probably." Evan looked up. "Do you know Naomi? Like, from before?" Adam hesitated. "Yeah. We knew each other a while ago." "Are you friends?" "We were. Once. You should be friends again. Naomi needs more friends. She works too much." Out of the mouths of children, Adam thought. The door opened. A tall woman with dark skin and braided hair walked in. She wore jeans and a leather jacket, and she had the same shaped eyes as Naomi. She looked at Evan first, then at Adam with open suspicion. "Hey, Evan." Her voice was warm for the boy, cooler when she glanced at Adam again. "You ready to go?" "Tasha." Evan jumped up and hugged her legs. "I thought you weren't coming until later." "Got off work early." She kept her eyes on Adam. "Who's your friend?" "This is Adam. He got stitches." Naomi fixed him. Tasha's expression shifted surprise, then understanding, then something that looked like protectiveness. Adam Cole. He stood up. Yeah, Tasha Williams, Naomi's sister. Nice to meet you. Mm-hmm. She didn't offer her hand. Evan, go get your backpack. It's in the corner over there. Evan scampered off. Tasha crossed her arms and studied Adam with frank assessment. So, you're the ex. I am. Naomi mentioned you, years ago. I figured she might have. She didn't say nice things. Adam nodded slowly. I earned that. Tasha seemed surprised by his honesty. Her expression softened slightly. What are you doing hanging around the family lounge? Just talking to Evan. Uh-huh. She glanced toward the hallway. Does Naomi know you're here? She knows I was here. For medical treatment. The rest. He shrugged. Accident of timing. There's no such thing as accidents. Tasha said it firmly. You being here tonight, that screen glitch, running into her again, that's the universe giving you a message. What message? That's for you to figure out. She paused. But if you hurt my sister again, you and I are going to have a problem. Clear? Very clear. Evan came back with a small blue backpack. Ready. Tasha took his hand. Let's go, kiddo. Say goodbye to Adam. Bye, Adam. Feel better. Bye, Evan. Tasha led him toward the door, but she looked back once more. Take care of those stitches. I will. They left. Adam stood alone in the empty family lounge, feeling off balance. In the span of 2 hours, he'd been stitched up by his ex-girlfriend, bonded with a 6-year-old, and been threatened by her protective sister. Normal Tuesday night. He finally walked out to the parking lot. The cool evening. Air felt good against his face. His car was parked under a streetlight, right where he'd left it. But as he reached for his keys, he heard shouting from near the entrance. A man's voice. Angry and familiar. Adam's stomach dropped. He turned. His father, Mark Cole, stood by the sliding doors in an expensive suit, talking on his phone. Even from 50 feet away, Adam could hear the irritation in his voice. I don't care what the delay is. I need those contracts by morning. Adam considered getting in his car and driving away. But his father had already spotted him. Mark ended the call and walked over. Adam, what are you doing here? Got hurt at the gym, needed stitches. Mark's eyes went to the bandage on Adam's forehead. His expression barely changed. You should be more careful. It was an accident. Accidents happen when you're not paying attention. Mark glanced at the hospital entrance with obvious distaste. Memorial ER? You couldn't go somewhere more appropriate? It was. Close. It's fine. Fine. Mark's favorite word for things that didn't meet his standards. Are you finished here? Yeah. Just leaving. Good. We need to talk about the Singapore deal. Dinner tomorrow, 7 o'clock. The club. It wasn't a request. It never was. Adam felt the old familiar weight settle on his shoulders. I can't. I have a meeting. Cancel it. It's important. So is this. Mark's voice hardened. This deal could be significant for the company. You're part of this family, Adam. Start acting like it. 3 years ago, Adam had caved to that pressure, had let his father convince him that Naomi wasn't suitable for a Cole, that she was a distraction, that he needed to focus on business and family expectations. He'd been 26 and stupid and scared of disappointing the man who controlled everything. But he was 29 now, and something had shifted tonight. I'll be there, Adam said, but I'm not canceling my meeting. I'll come after. Mark's jaw tightened. 8 o'clock then. Don't be late. He walked away without another word. Adam got into his car and sat in the darkness, his hands on the steering wheel. His head throbbed despite the stitches. His heart felt heavy. Through the hospital windows, he could see the ER still lit up bright. Somewhere in there, Naomi was working, helping people, living the life she'd built without him. He'd made his choice 3 years ago, and she'd moved on. But seeing her tonight, talking to her, being close to her again, it reminded him of everything he'd lost, everything he'd been too weak to fight for. Adam started the car and drove home. The next morning, Adam woke up with a stiff neck and the lingering ache in his head. He checked his phone. 7:30, Wednesday. He had messages from work, a reminder about the Singapore meeting, and a text from his assistant about lunch reservations. Nothing important. He got up, showered carefully to keep the bandage dry, and dressed for work. As he made coffee, his mind kept drifting back to the hospital, to Naomi's calm, professional voice, to Evan's small hand on his arm, to the way Tasha had looked at him like she was measuring whether he deserved a second chance. His phone buzzed. A text from his father. "Don't forget, 8 p.m. Important investors will be there." Adam stared at the message. Then he typed back, "I'll be there." Work was busy. Meetings, calls, spreadsheets. He pushed through it all on autopilot, but his focus kept slipping. He touched the bandage on his forehead more than once, remembering Naomi's gentle fingers, the way she'd looked at him when she thought he wasn't watching. At 6:30, he left the office. His father's club was across town, but he had time. Instead of heading there, he found himself driving toward the hospital. He told himself he was being stupid. She'd made it clear last night that they were done. Ancient history. She'd moved on, and so should he. But his car kept going. He parked in the visitor lot and sat there, engine off, staring at the building. What was he doing? Was he really going to walk in there and what? Ask her to talk? Apologize for something that happened 3 years ago? Act like time could be rewound? His phone buzzed. Another text from his father. "Table is reserved. Don't embarrass me." Adam looked at the hospital entrance, then at his phone. Then back at the hospital. He turned off his phone and got out of the car. The ER lobby was quieter than last night, only a handful of people in the waiting area. Nurse Whitaker was at the desk, and she looked up when Adam approached. "Mr. Cole, how's the head?" "Good. Fine." He felt awkward suddenly. "Is Dr. Williams working tonight?" Whitaker's eyebrows rose. "She is. But visiting hours. I'm not visiting a patient. I wanted to talk to her, if she has time." Whitaker studied him for a long moment. Then she smiled slightly. "Wait here." She disappeared through the doors. Adam stood in the lobby, second-guessing everything. What was he doing? This was crazy. She probably didn't want to see him. She was at work. He was interrupting. He should leave. But he stayed. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. The doors opened. Naomi walked through, still in her scrubs, looking confused and wary. "Adam, what are you doing here? Is something wrong with the stitches?" "No, they're fine. He stopped, suddenly unsure. "Can we talk? I'm working. I know. I'm sorry. But this won't take long. Please." Naomi glanced back at the doors, then at him. 5 minutes. Outside. They walked out to a small courtyard near the entrance. A few benches sat under a tree, and the evening air was cool. Naomi crossed her arms, waiting. "I shouldn't have left like I did," Adam said. 3 years ago. I shouldn't have just walked away." Naomi's expression didn't change. "Is that why you came here? To apologize 3 years too late?" "No, maybe. I don't know." He ran a hand through his hair, careful of the bandage. "Seeing you last night, it reminded me of how badly I screwed up. Adam, let me finish, please." He took a breath. "I let my father pressure me into ending things. I was scared of disappointing him, scared of going against the family, and I convinced myself that it was better for both of us. That you deserved someone who wasn't so complicated. What you mean is you chose him over me." Naomi's voice was quiet but firm. "You chose your family's approval over us." "Yes." The simple admission seemed to surprise her. Her arms dropped slightly. "I was wrong," Adam continued. "And I've regretted it every day since. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm not even asking for another chance. I just needed you to know that losing you was the biggest mistake of my life." Naomi looked away. He saw her jaw tighten, saw her blinking faster. "You don't get to do this. You don't get to show up after 3 years and say these things like they'll fix anything. I know. I built a life without you, Adam. A good life. I have a career I love, friends, stability. I'm happy. I'm glad. So why are you here? What do you want from me?" "Nothing. I just wanted you to know the truth." They stood in silence. A car drove past. Somewhere inside the hospital, someone called a name over the intercom. "I need to get back to work," Naomi said finally. "Okay." She started to walk away, then stopped. Without turning around, she said, "You hurt me, Adam, really hurt me. I don't know if I can trust you again. I understand, but—" She turned to face him. "I never stopped wondering what might have happened if you'd fought for us, if you'd been brave enough to stand up to your father. Adam's heart was pounding. I wasn't brave enough then. But I am now. Naomi shook her head slowly. I don't know if that matters anymore. It matters to me. That's not enough. She walked back inside, leaving him alone in the courtyard. Adam stood there for a long time, feeling the weight of what he'd said and what he hadn't. He'd told her the truth, laid himself bare, and she'd walked away. He couldn't blame her. His phone buzzed in his pocket. He pulled it out. Multiple texts from his father, each one more annoyed than the last. Where are you? Investors are asking for you. This is unacceptable. Call me immediately. Adam looked at the messages, then at the hospital, then back at his phone. For the first time in his life, he typed something he'd never had the courage to say before. I'm not coming. Something more important came up. He hit send before he could change his mind. Then he turned off his phone and sat down on the bench, waiting to see if Naomi would come back out. She didn't. But Adam stayed anyway, watching the hospital lights glow against the darkening sky, hoping that maybe, just maybe, brave enough now was better than never having been brave at all. Adam sat on that bench for almost an hour. The sky turned from purple to black. The courtyard lights flickered on. People came and went through the hospital entrance, visitors leaving, staff arriving for night shifts, a tired-looking couple holding coffee cups. He should go home. Naomi had made herself clear. She didn't trust him. She'd moved on. But something kept him there. Some stubborn hope that maybe, if he waited long enough, she'd come back out. She didn't. Finally, around 9 o'clock, Adam stood up. His legs were stiff from sitting. His head ached. He walked to his car feeling hollow. When he turned his phone back on, it exploded with messages. His father had called 12 times. There were angry texts, voicemails he didn't want to listen to. The last text simply said, "We'll discuss this tomorrow. My office, 9 a.m. Adam drove home in silence. He lived in a downtown apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows and expensive furniture that had never quite felt like home. Everything was clean, organized, empty. He made himself eat something, took ibuprofen for the headache, and lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Sleep didn't come easy. Thursday morning arrived grey and cold. Adam put on a suit, drank black coffee, and drove to his father's office building. The Cole Investment Group occupied 3 floors of a glass tower overlooking the city. Mark Cole's personal office was on the top floor, all dark wood and leather chairs, awards on the walls, a massive desk positioned so his father could look down on whoever sat across from him. Adam had been summoned to this office dozens of times over the years. Each time felt like being called to the principal's office. Even now at 29, his father was on the phone when Adam walked in. Mark gestured to a chair without looking up. Adam sat and waited. "I don't care about their timeline," Mark said into the phone. "We set the terms. They either accept or we walk." A pause. "Fine. Send me the revised proposal by noon." He hung up and finally looked at Adam. His expression was cold. "Explain yourself. I had something I needed to take care of. Something more important than a dinner with potential partners worth $40 million. Yes." Mark's jaw tightened. "Do you have any idea how embarrassing it was to have you not show up? I had to make excuses. I had to apologize on your behalf. I'm sorry you were embarrassed." "You're sorry?" Mark's voice rose slightly. "That's all you have to say?" Adam met his father's eyes. "What do you want me to say? That I'll never miss another dinner? That business always comes first? I can't promise that anymore." "What's gotten into you?" "I saw Naomi." The name landed between them like a stone. Mark's expression shifted recognition, then disapproval. "The doctor?" "Yes, that was 3 years ago, Adam. You ended that. You moved on. You pressured me to end it. And I listened because I was stupid and scared. I did what was best for you, for the family." Mark leaned back in his chair. "She wasn't right for you. Different backgrounds, different values, different—" "Don't." Adam's voice was sharp. "Don't finish that sentence. I'm stating facts. You're stating prejudices." They stared at each other. Adam felt his heart pounding but kept his voice steady. "I'm not 26 anymore," he said. "I'm not going to let you control my life." "Control?" Mark's laugh was bitter. "I built this company for you. Everything I've done has been to give you opportunities, stability, a future. I know, and I'm grateful, but I don't want the future you planned for me. Not if it means losing the people I care about. So, you're choosing her over your family. I'm choosing to make my own decisions." Mark stood up and walked to the window, hands clasped behind his back. For a long moment, he was silent. "You're making a mistake," he said finally. "Maybe. But it's my mistake to make. She won't take you back. You hurt her. People don't forget that." "I know. Then why are you throwing everything away for something that probably won't work?" Adam stood too. "Because I have to try. Because 3 years ago I didn't fight, and I've regretted it every single day. I'm not making that mistake again." Mark turned. For just a second, something flickered in his expression, surprise, maybe respect. Then it was gone. "If you do this, don't come crying to me when it falls apart." "I won't." Adam walked out of the office. His hands were shaking, but his steps were steady. He'd done it. He'd finally stood up to his father, and it felt terrifying and liberating at the same time. That afternoon, Adam found himself back at the hospital. He told himself he was just checking on his stitches, making sure everything was healing properly, but he knew that was a lie. Nurse Whitaker was at the desk again. She saw him coming and shook her head with a small smile. "Mr. Cole, becoming a regular, aren't you? Is Dr. Williams working?" "She's on her lunch break." "Cafeteria." Whitaker pointed down a hallway. "But I didn't tell you that." "Thanks." He found the cafeteria on the second floor. It was a large room with fluorescent lights and the smell of industrial food. Doctors and nurses sat at scattered tables, eating quickly between shifts. Naomi sat alone near the window, picking at a salad while reading something on her tablet. Adam approached slowly. "Can I sit?" She looked up, startled. "You're here again. I wanted to talk." "Adam, just 5 minutes, please." She studied him, then gestured to the empty chair. 5 minutes. He sat down. Up close, he could see the tiredness in her eyes. She probably worked 12-hour shifts, handled emergencies, dealt with difficult patients. And now he was showing up to complicate her life. "I talked to my father this morning," he said. "Okay. I told him I wasn't going to let him control my decisions anymore. That I was done letting him pressure me." Naomi set down her fork. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because 3 years ago, I chose his approval over you, and I needed you to know that I wouldn't make that choice again." "It's been 3 years, Adam. You can't just decide one day that you made a mistake and expect everything to be fine." "I know. I was hurt, really hurt. It took me a long time to move past that." "I know. So what do you want from me?" Adam took a breath. "I want a chance to prove I'm not the same person who walked away. I want to show you that I learned from my mistakes. I want—" He stopped. "I want you to trust me again, even if it takes time." Naomi shook her head slowly. "I don't know if I can do that." "Then just let me try. Let me prove it." "How?" "However you want. Coffee, a conversation, anything. Just don't shut me out completely." She looked out the window, conflict clear on her face. "This is a bad idea. Probably. We hurt each other. We didn't work before. What makes you think we'd work now? Because I'm different now, and maybe you are too. Maybe we could be different together." Naomi was quiet for a long time. Then, she said, "I'm taking care of Evan until Sunday. His mom gets back Sunday afternoon." "Okay. He likes you. He talked about you all night. Asked if you were coming back." Adam's chest tightened. "He's a good kid." "He is." Naomi turned to look at him. "If and this is a big if I agree to talk, it has to be slow. No promises, no expectations. I understand. And you can't just disappear again. If we do this, you have to be all in. Because I won't go through that pain twice. I promise. I don't know if your promises mean anything yet." The words stung, but they were fair. "Then let me show you they do." Naomi picked up her phone and typed something. A moment later, Adam's phone buzzed. She'd sent him her number. "Coffee," she said. "Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. There's a place near my apartment. Bean and brew. You know it." "I'll find it. Just coffee. Just talking. That's all. That's all I'm asking for." She stood up, gathering her tray. "I have to get back to work." "Okay." She paused. "Adam? Don't make me regret this." "I won't." She walked away, and Adam sat alone in the cafeteria, feeling like he'd just been given something precious and fragile, a chance. Not forgiveness, not yet, but a chance. He'd take it. The next 2 days crawled by. Adam worked, took care of his stitches, ignored more angry messages from his father. He thought about Naomi constantly, about what he'd say on Saturday, about whether he could really prove himself worthy of a second chance. Friday evening, he was making dinner when his phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello? Adam?" It was Naomi's voice, but she sounded stressed. "I'm sorry to call, but I need help." His heart jumped. "What's wrong?" "It's Evan. He's having an asthma flare-up. I gave him his inhaler, but he's still struggling. I need to take him to the ER, but my car won't start and Tasha's not answering her phone and... Where are you?" "My apartment, 415 Maple Street. I'll be there in 10 minutes. He grabbed his keys and ran. Naomi's building was an older brick structure with window boxes full of flowers. Adam pulled up front and texted her. She appeared a minute later carrying Evan. The boy's breathing was raspy and labored. His face was pale. Naomi climbed into the back seat with him. "Drive to Memorial. Fast, but safe." Adam drove. He kept his eyes on the road but glanced in the rearview mirror. Naomi had Evan sitting up, rubbing his back, talking to him in a calm voice. "You're okay, buddy. We're almost there. Just keep breathing nice and slow." Evan wheezed, scared. "I know, sweetheart, but I'm right here. Adam's helping us. We're going to get you feeling better." "Can't. Breathe good." "I know, but you're doing great. You're so brave." Adam pressed the gas a little harder. The hospital appeared ahead. He pulled up to the ER entrance and jumped out, opening Naomi's door. She lifted Evan out. "I've got him. Park and meet us inside." Adam parked and ran back. Inside, Naomi was, already talking to the triage nurse. They took Evan back immediately. Adam stood in the waiting area, heart pounding, feeling useless. Through the windows, he could see staff moving quickly. Naomi's voice carried calm, professional, directing care. 20 minutes passed. 30. Finally, Naomi emerged. She looked exhausted but relieved. "He's okay. They gave him a nebulizer treatment. He's breathing better. They want to keep him for observation for a few hours, but he'll be fine." Adam felt his legs go weak. "Thank God. Thank you." Naomi touched his arm briefly. "For coming. For driving us. I was panicking. Of course. Anytime." They stood in the lobby, both of them drained. "Can I see him?" Adam asked. "He's asking for you, actually." They walked back together. Evan was in a small observation room, sitting up in bed with an oxygen mask on his face. He looked small and tired, but his color was better. When he saw Adam, he tried to smile. "Hey, buddy." Adam sat in the chair next to the bed. "Feeling better?" Evan nodded, then pulled the mask aside. "You came." "Of course I came. Was I brave?" "So brave." Evan settled back against the pillows. "Will you stay?" Adam looked at Naomi. She nodded slightly. "I'll stay," Adam said. Naomi pulled up another chair. The three of them sat in the small room while monitors beeped softly. A nurse came in to check Evan's oxygen levels. Everything looked good. Evan fell asleep around 8 o'clock, his breathing steady now. Naomi stayed close, checking on him every few minutes with professional precision mixed with obvious care. "You're good with him," Adam said quietly. "I love kids. Always have." Naomi adjusted Evan's blanket. "His mom is like a sister to me. We went through med school together. She trusts me with her whole world. That's a big responsibility." "It is, but it's worth it." They sat in comfortable silence. It felt natural, being here together, like they'd done this 100 times before. "I'm sorry about tomorrow," Naomi said suddenly. "The coffee. I don't think I can make it. I need to stay with Evan." "I understand. Maybe another time, whenever you want." She looked at him. "You really came when I called." "Of course I did. You didn't have to." "Yes, I did." Something shifted in her expression. The walls came down just a little. "Thank you, Adam, really. Anytime." Around 10 o'clock, the doctor cleared Evan for discharge. His breathing was normal, all vitals good. Just needed rest and to avoid triggers. Adam drove them back to Naomi's apartment. He helped carry Evan upstairs. The boy was half asleep, draped over his shoulder. Naomi unlocked her door, and Adam laid Evan on the couch. The apartment was small but warm. Photos on the walls, plants in the windows, colorful pillows everywhere. It felt like Naomi. Comfortable and real. I should go, Adam said. Let you get him settled. Okay. Naomi walked him to the door. Adam, yeah, about what I said before, about not trusting you. She paused. Maybe I was too harsh. You showed up tonight. You helped without being asked. That means something. I'll always show up. That's a promise. I'm starting to believe that. They stood close in the doorway. For a second, Adam thought she might hug him, but she stepped back. Good night, she said softly. Good night. He walked down the stairs feeling lighter than he had in years. She was starting to trust him, starting to let him back in. It was a beginning. Saturday morning, Adam woke to a text from Naomi. Evan wants to know if you'd like to come to the park with us this afternoon. No pressure. He texted back immediately. I'd love to. What time? 2 p.m., Riverside Park, near the playground. I'll be there. Adam spent the morning cleaning his apartment, working out, trying not to overthink everything. At 1:30, he changed clothes 3 times before settling on jeans and a navy sweater, casual but neat. He arrived at the park 5 minutes early. It was a beautiful afternoon, cool but sunny, leaves turning gold and red on the trees. The playground was busy with families. Kids ran and laughed, parents sat on benches talking. He spotted Naomi sitting on a bench near the swings. She wore jeans and a green jacket, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looked beautiful. Evan saw Adam first and came running over. Adam, you came. Told you I would. Adam knelt down to the boy's level. How are you feeling? Good. My breathing's all better. Naomi says I have to be careful, but I can still play. That's great, buddy. Evan grabbed his hand. Come, push me on the swings. Adam looked at Naomi. She smiled a real smile this time. Go ahead. He let Evan pull him to the swings. The boy climbed on and kicked his legs. Higher. Adam pushed, not too hard. Evan laughed, the sound bright and happy. Naomi joined them a few minutes later. She stood beside Adam, watching Evan swing. He talked about you all night, she said. Asked when you were coming back. He's easy to like. He needs a father figure. His dad isn't in the picture. Never was. That's hard. It is. But his mom is amazing. And he has people who love him. Evan jumped off the swing and ran to the slide. Adam and Naomi followed, settling on a nearby bench where they could watch him. This is nice, Adam said. It is. I missed this. Just being with you. Talking. Not having to pretend. Naomi looked at him. I missed it too. Even though I told myself I didn't. Can I ask you something? Okay. Why did you give me another chance? After everything? She was quiet for a moment. Because you showed up. When I called about Evan, you didn't hesitate. You just came. And I realized that maybe you really have changed. Or maybe you were always that person, but you were too scared to show it before. I was scared. Of my father. Of disappointing people. Of not being good enough. And now? I'm still scared, but I'm more scared of losing you again, Naomi. Reached over and took his hand. Just held it, her fingers warm in his. They sat like that for a long time, watching Evan play, not needing to say anything else. Eventually, Evan came running back. I'm hungry. Naomi laughed. When are you not hungry? Can we get ice cream? It's almost dinner time. Please? She looked at Adam. What do you think? Ice cream for dinner? Sounds perfect to me. They walked to a small ice cream shop near the park. Evan got chocolate chip. Naomi got strawberry. Adam got vanilla. They sat outside at a metal table, and Evan told stories about school and his friends and his favorite superhero. He was animated and funny, and both adults laughed at his impressions. You're good at that voice, Adam said. Very dramatic. I'm going to be an actor when I grow up. Or a doctor like Naomi. Or both. You can be anything you want, Naomi said. What do you do, Adam? Evan asked. I work with money, help companies grow. That sounds boring. Adam laughed. Sometimes it is. You should do something fun, like Naomi. She helps people feel better. You're right, that is more fun. Naomi smiled at him over Evan's head. Something warm passed between them. As the sun started to set, they walked back to Naomi's apartment. Evan held both their hands, swinging between them. At the building entrance, Naomi said, Do you want to come up? I'm making pasta for dinner. Are you sure? Evan would be disappointed if you didn't. Then I'd love to. They went upstairs. Naomi's apartment felt even cozier in the evening light. She put on music and started cooking, while Adam helped Evan build a Lego spaceship at the coffee table. "You're good at this," Evan said, snapping pieces together. "Thanks. I used to love Legos as a kid. Did your dad play with you?" The question caught Adam off guard. "No. He was always working." "That's sad." "Yeah, it was. When I have kids, I'm going to play with them every day." "That's a good plan, buddy," Naomi called them, to the table. She'd made spaghetti with marinara sauce and garlic bread. It smelled amazing. They ate together, talking and laughing. Evan told a joke that didn't quite make sense, but they all laughed anyway. Naomi shared a story from work. Adam felt himself relaxing, letting go of tension he'd carried for years. This felt right. Like family. After dinner, Evan started yawning. Naomi put him to bed in her spare room, reading him a story until he fell asleep. When she came back out, Adam was washing dishes. "You don't have to do that," she said. "I want to." She joined him, drying while he washed. They worked in comfortable silence. "Today was really nice," Naomi said finally. "It was. I'm glad you came." "Me too." She set down the towel and turned to face him. "Adam, I need to know something. Are you serious about this? About us? Because if you're just trying to fix old guilt, I need to know now." "I'm serious. More serious than I've ever been about anything." "What about your father? He's not going to approve." "I don't care. This is my life. My choice. He'll make things difficult." "Let him." Naomi searched his face. "You're really willing to risk your relationship with your family for me?" "Yes. Because you're worth it. Because we're worth it." She stepped closer. "I'm scared." "Me too. What if we mess this up again? Then we'll deal with it. Together. But I have to believe we won't. I have to believe we learned something from last time." Naomi reached up and touched the bandage on his forehead. It was smaller now, just a strip of medical tape. "Your stitches need to come out soon." "I know. Come by the hospital Monday." "I'll take them out." "Okay." She left her hand on his face. Adam covered it with his own. "Naomi, don't say anything else. Not tonight. Let's just be." So they stood in her small kitchen, hands touching, hearts opening, and let themselves just be together. It wasn't everything. Not yet. But it was enough. Sunday morning came quiet and peaceful. Adam woke up thinking about Naomi, about the way she'd looked at him in her kitchen, about how natural it felt to be with her and Evan. His phone rang around 9. It was her. "Hey," she said. "Evan's asking if you want to come to breakfast. I'm making pancakes." Adam smiled. "I'll be there in 20 minutes." When he arrived, Evan opened the door wearing dinosaur pajamas and a huge grin. "Adam, Naomi's making chocolate chip pancakes." Lucky us. Inside, the apartment smelled like vanilla and butter. Naomi stood at the stove, flipping pancakes onto a plate. She wore sweatpants and an old t-shirt, her hair pulled into a messy bun. She looked comfortable, real, beautiful. "Morning," she said. "Morning." They ate at her small kitchen table. Evan talked between bites about a dream he'd had involving robots and pizza. Naomi added more pancakes to Adam's plate without asking. Small gestures, easy moments. After breakfast, while Evan watched cartoons, Adam helped Naomi clean up. "His mum gets back this afternoon," Naomi said quietly. "Around 3. He'll be happy to see her." "Yeah, but I think he'll miss having you around." Adam rinsed a plate. "I'll miss him too." Naomi leaned against the counter. "Can I ask you something?" "Always. What happens now, with us? We've been in this bubble all weekend with Evan, but tomorrow is regular life. Your work, my shifts, your father, reality." Adam set down the dish towel and turned to face her. "I want to keep seeing you. I want to take you to dinner. I want to talk about your day. I want to be part of your life. Whatever pace you're comfortable with. And when your father pushes back, he'll have to deal with it. Adam, I need to know you're really ready for that. Because it won't be easy. He has a lot of influence over your life." Had, past tense. Adam stepped closer. "I'm not living for his approval anymore. I'm living for myself. And I want you in that life." Naomi studied him. "I believe you mean that right now. But when he applies pressure, then I'll handle it. I'm not the same person who let him control my decisions 3 years ago. She wanted to believe him. He could see it in her eyes. But fear held her back. Let me prove it, Adam said. Give me time to show you. I'm serious. Before Naomi could respond, Evan called from the living room. Can we go to the park again? Naomi glanced at the clock. We have a few hours before your mum gets here. One more trip? Evan cheered. They went back to Riverside Park. The weather was cooler today, clouds moving across the sun. Fewer families were out. Evan ran straight to the monkey bars while Adam and Naomi followed slowly. I need to tell you something, Naomi said as they walked, about why I had such a hard time trusting people after we broke up. Adam stayed quiet, letting her talk. When you left, you didn't just break my heart. You made me question my judgment. I'd been so sure about us, so sure you loved me, enough to fight for what we had. When you proved me wrong, it made me doubt everything. Every relationship, every connection. I built walls to protect myself. I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you like that. I know, but you did, and healing from it took time. She paused. Meeting you again this week brought all those feelings back. The good ones and the painful ones. And now I'm trying to figure out if I can risk it again, if you're worth the risk. Adam stopped walking. I can't promise I'll be perfect. I'll probably mess up sometimes, but I can promise I'll never walk away again. I'll never choose anything over you. And I'll spend every day trying to be worthy of your trust. Naomi's eyes glistened. That's what I needed to hear. It's the truth. She reached for his hand. He took it, and they stood there in the middle of the park while Evan played nearby, oblivious to the weight of the moment. Okay, Naomi said finally. Okay? Okay, let's try. For real this time, but slow and honest. No hiding things to protect each other. If something's wrong, we talk about it. I can do that. And if your father causes problems, we'll handle it together. She squeezed his hand. Together? Evan came running over. Did you guys see me? I went across the whole thing without falling. That was amazing, Naomi said, her voice warm despite the tears she was blinking back. Super impressive, Adam added. Evan looked between them, noticing their joined hands. Are you guys friends again? Yeah, buddy, Adam said. We're friends again. Good, because Naomi's been sad sometimes. I could tell. Naomi knelt down and hugged him. You're very observant. My mum says I notice things. She's right. They spent another hour at the park. Evan showed them his skills on every piece of equipment. Adam pushed him on the swings again. Naomi took pictures on her phone, capturing moments she said she wanted to remember. Around 2:30, they headed back to the apartment to wait for Evan's mom. She arrived right on time, a tall black woman with kind eyes and a bright smile. Her name was Lisa. She hugged Evan tight, then thanked Naomi profusely. How was he? Lisa asked. Perfect. Well, except for the asthma scare Friday night. But he's fine now. Lisa's face went serious. What happened? Naomi explained while Lisa checked Evan over. When she was satisfied he was okay, she turned to Adam. And who's this? Adam Cole. A friend. Naomi glanced at him. A good friend. Lisa raised an eyebrow but didn't press. Well, thank you for helping with my boy. He's great, Adam said. Really special. Evan hugged Naomi goodbye, then surprised Adam by hugging him too. Will I see you again? I hope so. Promise? Adam looked at Naomi. She nodded slightly. Promise, Adam said. After they left, the apartment felt suddenly quiet. Naomi sat on the couch, and Adam joined her. I'm going to miss having him around, she said. Me too. He got attached to you fast. The feeling's mutual. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Naomi turned to him. So, real life starts now. Guess so. I work tomorrow night, 7 to 7. Can I bring you dinner? She smiled. That would be nice. And Tuesday? Tuesday I'm off. Dinner? Somewhere nice. How about somewhere comfortable instead? I'm tired of pretending to be fancy. Comfortable works for me. Naomi leaned her head on his shoulder. Adam put his arm around her. They stayed like that for a long time, just being together. Monday morning, Adam went to work. He handled meetings, reviewed reports, made decisions. But his mind kept drifting to Naomi. to the promise they'd made, to the fact that this was real now. Around 10, his assistant knocked on his door. "Your father is here to see you." Adam's stomach tightened. "Send him in." Mark Cole walked into the office like he owned it. He probably thought he did. He sat down without being invited and fixed Adam with a hard stare. "We need to talk about your behavior. I'm listening. You've missed meetings. You've been distracted. And I've heard you're seeing that woman again. Her name is Naomi. I don't care what her name is. This is a mistake. It's my decision. A decision that affects the family, the company, our reputation." Adam took a breath. "Dad, I love you. I respect what you've built, but I'm not going to let you control who I'm with. Not anymore. This is about control. I'm trying to protect you. From what? From being happy? From loving someone who makes me better? From making a choice you'll regret? The only choice I regret is listening to you 3 years ago." Adam stood up. "I should have fought for her then. I should have told you that your approval wasn't worth losing her. But I was scared and young and stupid. I'm not that person anymore." Mark's face hardened. "If you continue this relationship, there will be consequences." "Like what?" "Like reconsidering your position in the company. Like removing you from certain accounts. Like cutting me off?" Adam finished. "Go ahead. I'll figure it out." His father looked shocked. "You'd throw everything away for her?" "No. I'd choose to build something better. With her." They stared at each other. The office felt small and tense. Finally, Mark stood up. "You're making a mistake." "Maybe. But it's mine to make." His father walked to the door, then paused. "When this falls apart, don't come crying to me. It won't fall apart. But if it does, I won't need your comfort. I'll figure it out on my own." Mark left without another word. Adam sat down at his desk, hands shaking. He'd done it. Really done it. Stood up to his father, set boundaries, chosen himself and Naomi over family approval. It felt scary. It felt right. That evening, Adam went to the hospital. He'd promised to bring Naomi dinner. He showed up at 6:30 with Chinese takeout and found her in the break room, exhausted but smiling when she saw him. "You came. Told you I would." They ate together in the small room while other staff came and went. Naomi told him about her shift, a broken arm, a child with the flu, an elderly woman with chest pain who turned out to be fine. "Long day?" Adam said. "They all are. But I love it. It shows." After they finished eating, Naomi checked his stitches in one of the exam bays. Her fingers were gentle as she removed the medical tape. "These look good, ready to come out." She worked carefully, removing each stitch with steady hands. Adam watched her face, the concentration, the care she took. This was who she was. A healer, a protector. All done. She stepped back. "You'll have a small scar, but it should fade over time. Battle scar, from the day I found you again." She smiled. "Romantic way to think about a gym accident." "I'm trying." Naomi cleaned up the supplies. "My sister wants to meet you. Officially, I mean. She saw you at the hospital, but that doesn't count." "I'd like that. She's protective. She might grill you. I can handle it." "Okay, Thursday night. Dinner at her place." "I'll be there." Naomi's pager went off. She checked it and sighed. "I have to go. Incoming trauma." "Go. I'll see you tomorrow?" "Tomorrow." She kissed his cheek quickly, then hurried out. Adam left the hospital feeling lighter than he had in years. They were building something. Slowly, carefully, but really building it. Tuesday evening, Adam picked Naomi up at 7. He'd made reservations at a small Italian restaurant downtown, the kind of place with checkered tablecloths and candles in wine bottles. Comfortable, like she'd asked. She wore a simple blue dress and looked beautiful. They sat at a corner table, ordered wine, and talked for hours. About their childhoods, about medical school and business school, about dreams they'd had and dreams they'd given up, about everything they'd learned in the 3 years apart. "I'm different now," Naomi said, more confident, more sure of what I want. "What do you want?" "A partner who respects me, who doesn't try to change me or mold me into something I'm not. Who shows up when it matters. I can be that person. I think you already are." After dinner, they walked along the river. The city lights reflected on the water. The air was cool but not cold. Naomi took Adam's hand as they walked. I talked to Tasha about you, she said. Yeah? What did you tell her? That you're back in my life, that we're trying again. She's skeptical but supportive. That's fair. I'd be skeptical too, she said. Something interesting, though. She said sometimes people need to lose something to appreciate what they had. That maybe you needed these 3 years to become the person who could really love me, right? Adam thought about that. Maybe she's right. I don't know if I would have been strong enough back then to stand up to my father, to really choose you over everything else. And now? Now I know what matters. And it's not money or status or family approval. It's this. You. Us. Naomi stopped walking and turned to face him. I'm falling for you again. It scares me, but I can't help it. I never stopped falling for you. Even when we were apart, I never stopped. She kissed him, soft and slow, a promise and a new beginning all at once. When they pulled apart, she was smiling. So this is really happening. Yeah, this is really happening. They kept walking, hands joined, planning their next steps together. Thursday night, Adam met Tasha officially. She lived in a townhouse across town with her boyfriend Marcus. The dinner was casual, grilled chicken, salad, good conversation. Tasha spent the first hour asking Adam pointed questions about his intentions, his family situation, and what had changed since 3 years ago. Marcus tried to soften her interrogation, but she waved him off. I'm just looking out for my sister. I know, Adam said, and I respect that. If I were you, I'd be skeptical, too. So convince me you're worth it. Adam set down his fork. I can't convince you with words. I can only show you through my actions. I showed up when Naomi needed help with Evan. I confronted my father and set boundaries. I'm here now, letting you ask hard questions, and I'll keep showing up. Every day. For as long as she'll let me. Tasha studied him. Then she looked at Naomi. You believe him? I'm starting to. Good enough for now. Tasha's expression softened. But mess this up and you'll answer to me. Understood. The rest of the evening was easier. They talked about sports, work, funny stories. Marcus told embarrassing tales about Tasha. Naomi laughed more than Adam had heard in days. As they left, Tasha hugged her sister, then surprised Adam by hugging him too. Take care of her, she whispered. I will. In the car, Naomi smiled. She likes you. How can you tell? She hugged you. She doesn't hug people she doesn't like. Then I'm honored. Adam drove Naomi home. At her door, she invited him up for coffee. They sat on her couch, drinks forgotten, just talking. This feels different than before, Naomi said. More solid, like we're building on stronger ground. We are. We know what we're risking now. We know what it costs to lose each other. I don't want to lose you again. You won't. She curled into his side. I'm tired of being careful. Tired of protecting my heart. Then don't. I'll protect it for you. That's a big promise. It's the easiest promise I've ever made. They stayed like that for hours, talking and dozing and being together. When Adam finally left around midnight, he felt like they'd crossed some invisible line, from trying again to truly being together. Friday morning, Adam woke to a text from Naomi. Coffee this weekend? For real this time? He smiled and typed back. Absolutely. Saturday morning. Bean and brew. 10 am? Perfect. It's a date. Saturday came bright and clear. Adam arrived at the coffee shop 5 minutes early. It was a cozy place with mismatched furniture and local art on the walls. He ordered 2 coffees, one black, one with cream and sugar, and waited. Naomi walked in at exactly 10. She wore jeans and a cream sweater, her hair in a ponytail. She smiled when she saw him. You remembered how I take my coffee. Some things you don't forget. They sat by the window. Outside, people walked past with dogs and shopping bags. Inside, the coffee shop smelled like espresso and cinnamon. So, Naomi said, we're doing this. We're doing this. For real. No more testing the waters. No more being careful. For real. She reached across the table and took his hand. I'm all in, Adam. Scared but all in. Me too. So, where do we go from here? Forward, together, one day at a time. They talked about practical things, about meeting each other's friends, about how to balance his work schedule with her shifts, about whether he'd ever met her father he had, briefly, years ago, and whether they should have dinner with him soon. He liked you back then. Naomi said. Even after we broke up, he'd ask about you sometimes. Really? He said you were a good man who made a bad choice, that he hoped you'd figure yourself out. Think he'll give me another chance? Only one way to find out. After coffee, they walked to a nearby park, different from Riverside, smaller and quieter. They found a bench under a large oak tree and sat down. I have something to tell you, Adam said. Okay. My father is still pushing back. He's threatened to cut me off financially, to remove me from certain projects, to make things difficult. Naomi's face grew serious. And I don't care. I told him I'd rather build something from scratch with you than have everything he's offering without you. Adam, that's a huge sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice. It's a choice, the right choice. But your career will be fine. I'm good at what I do. If I have to leave the family company, I'll start my own thing or work somewhere else. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm not letting him control my life anymore. Naomi's eyes filled with tears. You really mean that? Every word. She threw her arms around him. Adam held her close, breathing in the citrus scent of her hair. I love you, she whispered. I tried not to. I tried to protect myself, but I love you. I love you too. Never stopped. They stayed wrapped together for a long moment. Then Naomi pulled back, wiping her eyes. Okay, so we're really doing this, building a life together. Yeah, we are. It won't be easy. My schedule is crazy. Your father will keep making trouble. Life will get complicated. I know, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. She kissed him, soft and sweet. When they pulled apart, she was smiling through her tears. Want to go get lunch? I know a place. Lead the way. They spent the rest of the day together. Lunch turned into browsing bookstores. That turned into walking along the river. That turned into dinner at a hole-in-the-wall Thai place Naomi loved. By the time Adam dropped her off that night, the sun had set and the stars were out. Best day I've had in a long time, Naomi said at her door. Same. Want to come to church with me tomorrow? It's important to me. I'd love to. Really? You're not just saying that. Really, I want to be part of your world. All of it. She kissed him goodnight, and Adam drove home, feeling like his life had finally clicked into place. The weeks that followed were a blur of stolen moments and slow building. Adam met Naomi's father over Sunday dinner, a kind man with gentle eyes who asked hard questions but seemed satisfied with Adam's answers. Naomi met more of Adam's friends, the ones who weren't connected to his father's world. They navigated her 12-hour shifts and his business meetings. They texted throughout the day, small things, silly things, important things. They had their first fight about something stupid and worked through it. They celebrated her birthday with dinner and a movie. They spent a Sunday afternoon helping Tasha paint her living room. Life wasn't perfect. Adam's father still refused to accept the relationship. Some of Adam's colleagues treated him differently after he made it clear he was setting his own path. Money was tighter than he was used to. But none of that mattered because he had Naomi. One Saturday afternoon, about 2 months after that night in the ER, they went back to Riverside Park. The weather was colder now, true autumn settling in. Most of the playground equipment was empty. They sat on the same bench where they'd watched Evan play. Remember that day? Naomi asked. How could I forget? Evan asks about you all the time. Lisa says he wants to know when he can see Adam and Naomi again. We should set something up. Yeah? Yeah, he's a great kid, and he was part of our story, part of us finding our way back. Naomi leaned her head on Adam's shoulder. I'm happy, really, truly happy. Me too. I was so scared to let you back in, so sure you'd hurt me again. And now? Now I trust you, not because you promised things, but because you showed me. Every day, in 100 small ways. Adam kissed the top of her head. I'll keep showing you. Forever, if you'll let me. Forever sounds good. They sat as the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Other couples walked past. A family with young children, an elderly pair holding hands. This is what I want, Naomi said quietly. This, us, building a life together. Maybe someday getting married, maybe having kids, growing old together. I want that too, even if your father never comes around, especially then. Because it means we chose each other over everything else. Naomi lifted her head and looked at him. "I love you, Adam Cole. I love you, Naomi Williams." They kissed as the sun set behind them, the park growing quiet around them. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. It was something better, a real beginning, the start of something built on honesty and courage and second chances. When they finally stood to leave, Adam took Naomi's hand. She laced her fingers through his, and they walked together toward the parking lot. "Where to now?" she asked. "Wherever you want to go." "How about home? We can make dinner together." "Perfect." As they walked, the last rays of sunlight caught Naomi's profile, making her glow. Adam squeezed her hand gently, and she squeezed back a simple gesture that meant everything. They'd been broken, they'd been lost, they'd made mistakes and hurt each other. But they'd found their way back, not because it was easy, but because they were brave enough to try again, brave enough to trust, brave enough to love, and that made all the difference. The park gate swung closed behind them as they walked toward the car, toward dinner, toward their future together, finally, where they were always meant to be. The end.